How do all? I am Drew.
I am Thew.
And welcome to our latest episode of Geeks Under Glass. Thew, we were just talking about something here. Why don't you go ahead and start us off with that? That sounded very interesting.
Most definitely, certainly. We were talking about the encryption case that the government is making against Apple. And I was talking about the fact that last week tonight actually, as is their usual MO, covered this very extensively in one of their episodes. And they tend to post these things on YouTube for free. I don't have HBO. You don't have HBO. Yeah, we can just both watch it.
No, I actually do have HBO.
Oh, well, the hell with you then.
I think it's just because it's a free promotional thing right now.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Never mind. As you can tell, I'm very wishy-washy with who I curse to hell.
Apparently. Well, I only have a couple of things today. A review of a single anime and a couple of books.
Before that, did you see any of the new trailers for Suicide Squad?
I have not, unfortunately, no.
I'm not a fan with what they've done with Harley Quinn.
Wait.
Both in the comics and how they're portraying her in the movie.
Let me guess, they have her as the more punk style as opposed to her original?
I prefer the original look, yes.
As do I.
But also, it gets worse. Like, okay, her personality has always been kind of loopy, silly. Now she just seems like Tank Girl as done by Zooey Deschanel. Okay? That is how she comes across in the movie. I'm like, I'm expecting Ice-T as a kangaroo to come out of nowhere.
Nice. No, I think I understand, but I think they were going along with how the comics have portrayed her since Joker's death.
Even in the comics, she was not like this.
No, they took it even worse, huh?
It gets worse, so much worse.
That's bad.
Very.
Oh well.
Let's see. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, have you actually seen the Batman vs Superman movie or no?
Not yet. Intend to.
Neither have I.
I want to.
I don't know if I want to or not, to be honest.
Dude, I want to see so many goddamn things. I want to see that, Zootopia, freaking Nice Guys. What else am I missing here? I'm sure I'm missing something.
Well, from what I understand, though, pardon me, some of us are tired.
Some of us don't have to stay up this late anymore.
No, I still stay up this late, usually. Just the new schedule starts me off at 11 in the morning as opposed to 1:30 in the afternoon.
Oh,
so,
goddamn.
Yeah. No, but I'm wondering if it's going to follow along very well with the animated version of the Batman vs Superman, which was actually pretty interesting.
Not quite sure. I was thinking more of an enemies versus allies version.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, in that one, it was a matter of...
Not gonna lie, I read the novelization more than I read the comic.
Ah, gotcha. If I remember correctly, it was something around the idea
something about a second asteroid crashing in Russia.
Something. Yeah, it was something odd. I don't remember it now very well.
It's been... it could very possibly have been a decade for me.
It's been a while. But anyway, moving on to more recent topics.
Where's the fair use? Have you heard?
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
This thing is just steamrolling.
Anime America got gigged twice again.
Anime America.
Yes. For showing just a few seconds clip of animes that they're doing reviews for, which literally is falls perfectly in the purview of the Fair Use Act. Dude, literally, it's the definition of fair use.
Dude, you think that's something? You know what else is happening? Do you know who Jim Sterling is?
Yes.
Dude's being sued for $10 million.
Jeez.
No, the guy that's suing him, total piece of shit.
Oh, I'm sure.
Not even like, it's not like, oh, we're some very hated games company. No, like it's little teeny tiny guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing with Anime America. It's some Italian-based company, and when they finally blocked it so that none of their videos could be viewed from Italy, they started going after all the older stuff that they couldn't get to. That they haven't bothered to block yet. It's ridiculous what they're going through. Somebody nailed Team 4-Star.
Team 4-Star.
For a bunch of things.
Dude, Doug Walker.
Yeah.
He's pretty much become the flag bearer of this whole damn thing.
It's just gotten ridiculous.
Out of hand, yes.
Yeah. As it stands right now, the only reason that I think they probably haven't gone after us is two things. One,
we suck.
We suck. We're tiny. Nobody cares. But number two is, as it stands right now, I haven't bothered to take the time to try to splice in any kind of video clips or anything like that to our.
Did you hear about Smooth McGroove though?
No, I have not.
Do you know who he is?
Vaguely, yes.
Okay, he's this guy. He basically records himself many times over doing individual pieces of an entire multi-part composition, like for Guile's theme or the Chemical Zone, and apparently he now has proof of how good he is.
Really?
Yeah, he is so good. Content ID flagged his stuff. So, I mean, on the one hand, that's sad and not good, but on the other hand, impressive.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. I don't blame YouTube. They're doing what they can.
I will blame YouTube to an extent. They are not bloodless in any of this.
No, but my thing is, they're working with poor setups anyway, because most of this is through Google.
Still, some of the stuff they do, they will willingly notify people who may have a claim that they may have a claim, and they don't have to do that. And on many occasions, they're not even in the right when they do this.
I understand, though, they're caught between a rock and a hard place as it stands, because they don't want to be completely shut down.
Well, no, they don't. But it's one thing to acquiesce. It's another thing to abet.
My thing is, I place the blame, the vast bulk of the blame, number one, on the vagary of the law that, as it stands, it was not designed for what we have today. It was.
But even so,
and it's
even
easily,
so,
well, it's easily
in what we have
exploited.
today, most of this stuff does fall in a fairly cut and dry stance.
Yes. Well, the problem is there's such a huge loophole currently because of what Google did in terms of people being able to simply file a claim without any basis whatsoever. And unfortunately, because it is the law, what's YouTube got to do? They've got to immediately act, shut it down. Then normally, 99% of the time, they will.
YouTube could have done, and I've been hearing this from a lot of different people, escrow the monetization.
Yeah, that I agree with that completely. They're basically paying
it is
people
2016.
for ripping them
we
off.
have cars without, we have cars that can drive themselves. We have robots that can beat people.
Actually, we don't. Have you seen the video of the Google car crashing
I've
into
heard
the
about
bus?
that. Yeah, one car crashed into one bus.
They always crash. It's a problem. All the driverless cars are having accidents at a higher rate than the average people.
I swear to God, I have not heard this. I have heard the counter to this.
Yeah, I every time I see the thing come up, it says that per rate, like, because you have only a certain number of the cars, so it's like the ratio is higher for the driverless car than it is for the average driver. When you take into account,
I'm not gonna lie, partly just because I want a damn robot car.
Well, no, everybody does.
I seriously doubt that.
Everybody does. If I remember correctly, I'll post a link in the video description of what I saw, if I remember it.
Well, I mean, hopefully when you're editing this, you'll hear this part and remember it.
Maybe. I don't know. Usually I'm doing this quickly while trying to get other things accomplished, so,
Gotta finish this and a bottle of scotch.
I wish. That'd be great.
I still got some friggin' ouzo I need to finish.
Ugh.
Yeah, turns out not so great on a hot day.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's too licoricey. Yeah. I mean, and this winter just wasn't quite cold enough to call for it,
Keep it in the freezer. That's what I do. Keep it in the freezer.
We have this very stellar basement. It's just nice and cool.
Gotcha.
Surrounded by mud on all sides.
Gotcha.
It's one of the benefits of living in a swamp.
Okay, well, before we start talking about the places we dwell...
I live in the Shire.
And the basement.
That's
We're
why
basement
my feet are so
dwellers.
hairy. Keeps me warm.
I'm not going there. Tolkien is rolling over in his grave right now. You understand that, right?
And it's not like I'm critiquing his work. I'm just claiming I'm part of it. I was made in his image.
Oh, good grief. Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Really quick, have you watched any of Dimension W?
I have. I even when I was at my bookstore, I even looked through just to see if certain things I suspected were censored. They weren't. So it's all good.
Okay, cool. How far along are you?
On whatever episode Toonami is on.
Oh, okay, because I'm watching it subbed online. I'm at episode 11.
I will say,
it's
you
the
know what I am
latest
watching
release.
and loving, even though I'm also reading the manga? My Love Story.
I've heard of that.
Giant dude, like an impossibly large freak of nature, who has like the most elfin, docile, wonderful, girlfriend. And like he's just like that's basically like more or less the joke. But they do it well enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I just was wondering if you had caught any of it. I've actually enjoyed it pretty well.
It is interesting. Plus, it's nice to hear that is Steve Bloom, right?
I don't know, like I said, I'm watching the sub version, so
right. I forgot.
But I enjoyed the fact that the main hero of this story is the consummate human. There's no superpowers.
It's basically I Robot the movie, the anime.
Kind of. Except that he doesn't have like bionic parts.
Oh right, I forgot about that part. I always forget about that part.
No, but it's a decent anime. Like I said, it's got some oddities, but I think that's just a difference between,
It's just an artistic choice, kind of.
Yeah, I think that's about all it is.
I have been backlogged on my anime fan. Dude, I'm still trying to get through Watamote.
Gotcha.
It's
I think I've heard of it before.
it's that I have no friends and somehow it's all your fault.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The book, she's a friggin' little perv.
Oh, great.
No. It's hilarious. Like there's this one episode where if you buy your erotic porn game from this particular retailer, you get to meet the voice actor, and he'll even say something for you. And so she records him basically just saying all this like nasty stuff with her specific name, and then she places it into the game itself, and it's just
nice. Oh, criminy. Well, setting that aside, I guess, because we are moving right along here. We're already at almost 13 minutes.
Dang.
And we are trying to cut down on our times.
Make these things bite-sized for you people.
That's right.
Waiting for season 2 of Final Fantasy VII?
No, I haven't. I haven't caught up on the first one yet.
Oh, no. Waiting for it.
Oh, waiting for it? Yeah, I haven't finished the first one.
Oh, it's awesome.
Nice.
What episode are you on?
3. I'm that far behind.
Oh, you got a way to go.
Yeah, I've got a long way to go.
Oh my god. Friggin' Hojo, man. Like, I don't know anything about this game. I've never played it. Bless me, say what you will. I love this short, man.
I should burn you at the stake.
Hey, don't blame me.
I can completely blame you. There's no excuse.
There is an excuse. I never had access to it.
Bull. In this day and age, everybody's got access to it.
Okay, I don't have access to a PS1. Ha!
You don't need a PS1. PS2 will work just fine.
I'm not paying hand over fist for this. Besides, unfortunately, we've disconnected the PS2 for our PS3.
I think you can still play it on PS3.
Really?
Yes, I believe it still plays on PS3.
All PS1 games or just certain?
Just certain ones. Just certain.
Joy. I gotta do all that work myself.
I think the ones that are silver-sided are
Oh, as opposed
okay.
to the black-sided?
Yeah, if they're black-sided, they won't.
Interesting.
I think.
Why is that? I
think it's just whatever it's made out of.
It's one of those things I've always noticed but never really given thought to. Why were some of those things black-sided and white and silver-sided?
I don't know.
Weird.
If you have the answer, feel free to leave it in the comments section.
I mean, there are some things that make sense, like when they came out with the Game Boy Color, and those cartridges were just straight up squares.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so because certain Game Boy Color games you could play on an old Game Boy.
Yep.
And you could tell because they had that little in them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just so if you had your Game Boy because when you turn the on switch for the Game Boy, it had this little thing that locked it in place. So,
Yeah.
as I learned the hard way from this, he wasn't quite a bully, but he was something of like an a-hole. But he very rarely bugged me, so live and let live. Where he was like, hey, what you playing? Pokemon, let me see. And he like tries to pull it up, and he's like trying to make, no, it's latched, you gotta turn it off. And it's like, oh, okay, turn it off, pull it up. There you go. So it's like, I mean,
Yeah.
my thing had a built-in anti-bully feature.
So get back on there, Nintendo. Fix that problem. Get it back in there.
Can you play like old Game Boy games on a DS or 3DS?
No.
Damn.
No, they changed the cartridge shape.
Wasn't sure. I heard about this thing where like if you hold the bumpers and you press L, it goes to like a sort of like retro looking Game Boy mode. Where it has like that yellow, blue, and everything's like...
I'm not sure.
Because I saw somebody do that for the re-release of Pokemon Red Blue.
Ah.
Which
Gotcha.
I want. Because it's an exact replica. It's not an add-on. It's not an HD remake. It's not the definitive deluxe super mega ultra turbo edition. It is just good old-fashioned 151 as God intended. I don't need more ghost Pokemon. I don't need Onix turning into Steelix. I don't need... What is that?
No
Okay.
idea.
I don't need Pika Libre. I don't need a friggin' key ring type Pokemon, which is apparently a thing now.
Oh, of course.
The Chandelier, whatever the hell it's.
Well, I mean, after a while, you run out of ideas for what you're
Don't
going to
make
make out of it.
ideas. My God, it worked. Leave it be.
Nice. All right. Well, let's move on away from that before you get any more agitated over here.
Oy. That was just. Oh. Wow, getting it from both ends.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem with an open-air studio. But thankfully, I have ordered something that will, if not by the next show, the one following, fix that problem for us.
Ooh, a
So.
present.
Kind of. But it just has to wait to be ordered. I have a couple of book reviews, though, to do really quick.
I have one.
Okay. 2 non-fictions, 2 fictions.
One fiction.
Okay. Positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative? All right, well, how about you go first with your negative, and then I'll start with my negative and move from there, because the rest of it's fairly positive.
Okay, here's how it goes. It's called About a Girl. It's a YA fiction. It is the worst. Like, I got into this, and I was like, I hate this person. I hate this narration. I hate... Because, like, the girl's supposed to be smart, and she's smart like Maris from Frasier Smart, where she just talks in, like, a cold, calculating, emotionless voice.
Ah, yes.
And then, like, some weird stuff happens where it's like, oh, hey, here's a picture of some dude with what looks like your mom. Why don't you go out to the middle of bum nowhere and just, you know, drop in? And it's just, like, a bunch of weird stuff. And, like, all of a sudden, it's like, you know, sirens and witches and you gotta go to the dead zone and, you know,
Yeah.
just, like, paranormal stuff that doesn't get explained or even addressed. Like, there's no afterwards just like, why and how? there's no nothing. It's just, yeah, this is a thing. I can deal with it.
Yeah, I don't care for that sort of thing either.
I mean, if done well, this was not done well, but if done well.
Yeah, if expanded and done
Like-
well, it might not be so bad.
Like, never in my life have I ever skipped, like, the last couple of pages just out of, like, sheer anger.
See, that's with me as well. I pride myself on being able to slog through the worst, you know,
Especially
the worst
when you're
tripe
like,
ever.
especially when you're down to like the last like what 10 pages.
Yeah, I pride myself in the ability to just slog through the worst, you know, literary tripe you've ever read in your life, and yet the one that I'm doing a review on, I couldn't do it. The Magic Casement by David Duncan, one of my favorite authors, Michael G. Manning, recommended them and said, you know, that when he was younger, that this was, you know, a great book series and he loved it. So I thought, well, it obviously influenced him. Let me take a read. I got through to chapter 4, and I said, no more. The whole thing revolves so far around a young girl who was the princess of this no-name little,
I'm
you know,
Princess
kingdom.
what's her name from the castle of somewhere.
It's basically nothing has happened aside from she bought a some kind of piece of cloth that turns out that it's not really relevant to this story at all, and one of the quote-unquote gods has arrived to talk to her and a nun. Meanwhile, the god had nothing else to say except that the girl's father was going to buy her more dresses. I went, what? And after a while, I just said, I can't get through any more of this. This is terrible.
Oh my god.
This is almost physically painful to read.
Actually, I lied. I got one more, but it's a positive one.
Go ahead, because the rest I have a neutral and then a couple of positives.
Trashed by Durf Backdurf.
Durf?
It's a pseudonym.
Obviously. No parents in the world are that evil.
Basically, it's largely non-fictional, but he added in some stuff just, for the sake of, having a little bit more to talk about. Like, some of it is just stuff he heard from other people. And basically, to an extent, it's about his time as a garbage man. And just some fun facts about everything we throw out, and where it goes, and just all this other stuff. And it's very interesting, just because this is the same guy who wrote My Friend Dahmer.
Oh, jeez.
Which was a nonfiction book about the high school years of one Jeffrey Dahmer, who this guy literally went to school with.
That is creepy.
Oh, yeah.
That's very creepy.
Although, this early on in his career, as it were, he was an alcoholic.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, well. I wonder why.
Apparently, it helped keep the demons at bay.
Yeah. Apparently. My neutral one. A book titled Once Dead by Richard Phillips. Basically revolves around a CIA agent who's looking to get revenge on a guy for killing his brother. Dies in the attempt, but as he's on the cusp of death, gets given the option basically to go back to the world of the living, but with this new thing inside of him that doesn't really change, doesn't give him super abilities or anything like that, but it lets him live, and it can kind of, it feeds off of his emotions and things like that. So
it's the egg from Yu Yu Hakusho.
No, because this will actually purposely heighten certain feelings, rage, anger, things, just certain things, because it enjoys the sensation, and sometimes it will try to help, using that, help guide the person that they're in into situations where it will get more, because it's the only way it can feel any kind of emotion. It's a little weird, and it has its drawbacks.
It sounds just a tad convoluted.
It is
and this is from someone who's currently watching Parasite.
Yeah. The thing of it is, there are a few things where you can just tell, like, the author didn't do much in the way of research. Like, 9 small caliber handguns are able to blast. Too much Hollywood physics in their weaponry choices. Like, a 9mm is strong and powerful enough to knock people over when you shoot them with them from a distance. No. It does have good story to it, and it does have some pretty decent, intrigue, and you can tell the person who wrote it, Mr. Phillips, they're obviously more in the tech area of, the world. They come up with the conspiracy theory that everyone's antivirus software is actually the way the government puts, basically a thing on your computer so that it can use your computer, stuff like that. It's interesting conspiracy theory. That's why I've put it at a neutral. Some of the stuff was hard to get, to look past, but overall, if you're just looking for a time killer read, it's not bad. plenty of action and stuff like that in it.
That's
It doesn't really just lull out too much. It's just fairly fast paced, so it's not too bad.
I got to playing a video game earlier in the week. The Simpsons game. Not Simpsons Hit and Run. Not Simpsons anything. Not the old school beat 'em up. Like that one that came out for like the PS3.
Okay.
Oh my god, it is so awful.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and I liked Simpsons Hit and Run. So it's not like, oh, it's 3D Simpsons I hate.
Yeah.
No. I'm like, and the worst part is, like, it had, like, 2D animation cutscenes, which I loved. But, the friggin', the gameplay and everything is too stupid. It's trying to be way too meta for its own good. And it's just,
Yeah, they were just trying to pump out the swag. Basically.
Never say that word. Never say that word. And I wouldn't call it swag. I mean, hip, maybe, but not swag.
All right.
Oh, God.
Oh.
You reminded me of something.
Oh boy, that could be dangerous.
Have you seen the new Renegade for Life?
I have not caught it yet. No.
The Division.
Oh Lord.
Apparently, he had the worst experience of anyone I've heard.
Really?
Granted, I haven't heard from many, but he had some friggin' issues. And
Did he go in the dark zone alone?
oh, he is by himself.
Oh, that's half the problem then.
No, I mean, like, just he even gives you, like, from like one point on, he says he even has a little thing at the bottom of the screen saying the frame rate as you see it has not been altered in any way.
Oh wow, that's bad.
Yeah, like
Wow.
he shows you just how laggy it is. Like, he had to downgrade graphics twice,
Good grief.
and he's got apparently 2 Titans, which I guess means something.
Yeah, that's the video card I think that he's running.
It's like
That's
I think it's like 32 something or others, or 60. I don't
Either
know.
way, that's I can imagine.
Really, Tom Clancy deserved better.
Oh, really quick, the last 2 that I have, both positive, both nonfiction, and both in the theological realm. The first one is, and I've been told I'm extremely boring because I read these books. One is called Debating Calvinism, which I'm sure that means nothing to you.
You've touched a hot button now, buddy.
Yeah,
Let me
right.
just roll up my sleeves here.
Yeah,
Go at it.
As 90% of our listening audience has no idea what that is. Basically,
It's an addition to Hobbesism.
No, but that'd be kind of funny.
Oh, it would.
No, but it's a theological perspective. The idea behind it being, of the book anyway, and I'm not going to get into that deep of a detail right now, since we're almost at 30 minutes again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's habitual.
But it's Dr. James White and Dave Hunt, and it's actually a debating book. First chapter would belong to the positive argument, second chapter would belong to the negative argument, and back and forth like that until you got to the end. As far as, if you're looking for a book that will help you understand Calvinism well, this is a very good book, because it is incredibly lopsided. Ignore that.
Apparently we're being beamed up.
No, actually, that would be the starting sequence for Moya from Farscape before she goes into Starburst.
Wow.
I have that.
Why don't you just bury that show? My God.
If that was physically possible, it might be a thing to do.
Hey,
anyway,
international waters, I'm sure you could.
right? Except I'm already married, so I don't think that works.
International waters, I'm sure you could.
Anyway, it's very lopsided. Dave Hunt tends to, the late Dave Hunt, I'm pretty sure he's passed.
Oh, dear.
But he had a problem. He was like a crack addict with ADD, unfortunately, in terms of how focused he could get on one discussion or one argument. He tended to bounce around a lot, and so it took away a lot from his argument. But anyway, the other book, The Potter's Freedom, also by Dr. White, is the response book to Dr. Norman Geisler's book, Chosen but Free, covering a lot of the same ground but in better depth and just in a better sequence. And you get much better argumentation from Dr. Geisler than you did from Dave Hunt. So, if you're at all theologically minded, I recommend both of these books.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
No, you won't. Don't lie. Don't end this show on a lie.
I was tempted to say something.
Well, you may as well go ahead now.
I am well endowed. How is that for ending on a lie?
I'm not going anywhere near that. I think that's what she said.
Sad but true, sad but true. Oh, new season of Archer coming up.
Yes, I did see that. Yes.
And Rick and Morty, apparently, you don't watch it, do you?
From time to time when I can.
Okay, apparently, I'm not sure if it was meant to be a joke or if it was legit, but at the end of the last season, they said, we'll see you in 2017. And I'm not sure if that was like a set date or if that was just like, worst case scenario, but apparently it is coming back this year. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
I
say
just can't hide it.
Right. Well, that was the same thing with Top Gear. They took that away.
Oh, the show. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's why I'm thinking Top Gun. Yeah, I heard about that.
It's coming back.
It went away. Then it got changed to something else. It was called Fifth Gear. Got moved to a different channel. But now BBC is bringing back a different Top Gear with like a different cast or something.
Well, no, this is the thing. That was the American version of Top Gear. You had the British Top Gear, and so they decided to make an American version of Top Gear for America because most of what they did, Americans went, huh?
Well, I do remember that they had a contest between bicycling, public metro, and boating up the River Thames.
Yeah.
Which apparently, once you reach a certain point in the river, it's like the Autobahn. There is no speed limits.
Yeah.
I still don't remember who won that one.
Yeah.
But I remember they had like this
Similar things with
another thing I remember they did. They had like this little driving course, and like whoever their special guest was that day, they had them do the driving course, and they made it like a time trial. And Gordon Ramsay came in seconds.
Yeah.
Overall, I think it was Simon Cowell that beat him.
Yeah.
And apparently in their own country, apparently those two are a lot nicer.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, they had the American version of it for a while. Then they canceled that, and then
I think because what's his name freaked out and assaulted somebody over.
Don't remember.
No. What I hear is the dude, he either yelled at somebody or he beat up somebody over a lunch order.
See, I don't know anything about that. I'm not sure. I just know that it was on.
I only know about
canceled.
that because I've been catching up on the Rooster Teeth podcast, and
we will not discuss Rooster Teeth on this channel.
We'll discuss Rooster Teeth.
No, we will not.
We already have. Mind freak.
They're hypocritical, backstabbing.
They're not hypocritical.
Yes, they are.
They're favoritists. They're not hypocritical.
It's hypocritical.
Get your words together.
No, it's hypocritical if you espouse that your show is based solely on pitting one character against another character.
That's Screw Attack. That's hypocritical.
And who owns Screw Attack and who told Screw Attack to do it? Thank you very much. Oh, wow, good grief. Bernie Sanders. And Donald Trump was right behind him.
The Lizard Men.
Okay. All right, now we've devolved into ridiculous's.
Oh, we didn't evolve that far from the ridiculousness in the beginning of this place.
All right, so let's just wrap this up.
I've lost the ability to form words. Dear Lord.
All right. Until next time, everybody.
Ciao for now.